Okay, so let's talk about Shokugeki no fucking Soma. Yeah, this chapter was great. I'm just gonna say it right off the damn bat. Um, you know, everybody coming out to help. So I'll start with Subaru first because, you know, he was the one that came last chapter. So his perfect trace, um, allowed him to keep up with Soma, which is interesting. Um, it does show Subaru's growth, but it doesn't mean he's equal to Soma. Um, just want to point that out because I think some people may be like, well, Subaru can keep pace with Soma, therefore he's equal. Well, no. Um, his perfect trace um, only allowed him to move at a certain pace for a certain dish. This doesn't mean that Soma can't go faster or can't move a different pace for another dish, etc. Um, as we see later on with Takumi, but I'll get there. So Subaru is doing his thing, and it's kind of funny how they both say sorry for the wait, and the that whole thing, and the one panel where they're both smiling with the white eyes, and it says there are two Yukihira Somas. It's just artistically just awesome. It's just hilarious at the same time. And Subaru, saying I owe you big time after all, which is definitely an interesting quote from him because ever since I don't know why his hair just like randomly grew like at the end of the Shokugeki against Soma when Soma won, like his hair grew after eating like the food, which is funny, but like made no sense. But yeah, he has. But I'm assuming this was sort of like your typical talk no jutsu type of thing without talking, except it's done well because Soma didn't necessarily talk no jutsu him. He just beat the crap out of him with cooking, and he did give him some words of advice. Um, but they weren't like your typical talk no jutsu that you see from like Fairy Tail, Naruto, etc. Um, it was really well done, and so yeah, Subaru seems to be in a better state because of his loss against Soma. So I do like that a lot. Now, Tadakuro. Can we just talk about her for a second? About how everybody shit on her at times, and maybe they still do. They better not. But this one is way fucking better than just about any girl except for Alice. Way better than Arana. Way better than Ikumi. Way better than everybody except for Alice. In terms of character development, she blows away everybody, even Alice. For and except for Soma, obviously. I'm talking about girl characters, obviously, but um, you know, in terms of girl characters, her character development blows away everybody, bar none. And in terms of overall likability, she's number two on my list, beside after Alice. But only because Alice is just so fucking funny and she's just great. But she just wow. So you know, just talking about the fact that she's such a good customer service agent, I guess you could say. Should be great for PR. I mean, you know what I was thinking the past couple of weeks. I don't know if I ever said it on camera, but I thought that maybe Tadakura would be good for attracting attention because she's kind of got like that cutesy innocent face that maybe be like, "Excuse me, sir, we're we're poor people. Can you buy our food?" Just get like a couple people in and just give them like the give them like the cutie eyes and get just one person to spread the love. I don't know. That's what I was thinking, but you know, it didn't work out quite that way. But she did. She is a good face in the front house. So to speak. There's not really a front of house, but you know what I mean. In in theoretical terms, she's a good server because she's very considerate, very nice, very kind, soft spoken. You know, just she's like even even during her stagiaire period where she was working with Erina, she had the idea of the sauce tray so that they can put as much sauce as they want. It was all about consideration for the customer. And so she's very, very good for customer service. On top of that, she's a very good chef. So she has qualities that not even some of these chefs have. And so that's a big, big boon if she were ever to open up a restaurant. But yeah, we get to see some of what she learns from the stagiaire period, which is good. And ultimately, some people come to help her from the local cuisine research society, which I think she was a part of, right? Um, and then now I'll talk about Nikumi or Ikumi, whichever you prefer. So she's next, Miss Tsundere. Of course, she was just in the Shokugeki no Souma episode. That whole thing with the karage. I don't know, however you say it. But yeah, so she basically takes over, the baking so that Tadokuro can stay as, a server, which is nice. And of course, she makes not really a suggestive pose, but shows her ass to the camera. So it's like, look at my ass, aren't I great? Yeah, I mean you're good, but not the best. So yeah. Uh, anyway, um, and then not much to say about her, but then freaking Takumi. Takumi comes in out of nowhere, and obviously Isami as well. But he boils the noodles, but and he always fucking interrupts Takumi's he when he tries to sound cool, it's awesome. But yeah, it was a really good like couple panels when they're talking together. Like, I won't forgive you if you lose disgracefully, the whole thing. And then the page where they're back to back looks fucking amazing, artistically speaking. It looks amazing. Um, just the subtle look back from Soma, and just like the artistic style of it just looks amazing. Everything about it. The speed lines, I mean, there's just subtle details in there that just add to the emotion. You can see the emotion and just the badassery in just that picture. Um, and it's interesting how he was able to keep up with Soma without the perfect trace type of thing. He said he could only reach the speed after perfect trace. It took him a while. And he even says, your work is slow, Subaru, which is crazy, meaning that Takumi really grew. We knew that. I mean, it would be interesting if we have a Takumi and Subaru rematch and then Takumi wins. That would be interesting and cool. Speaking of Takumi, I think it's not outside the realm of possibility that he beats Subaru in the anime. Just saying. Just because of the polls and the fact that Subaru is not in the second opening. Anyway, there's obviously another great page where you see all of them. You see Soma in the front, you have Takumi, Subaru, Nikumi, Tadokuro, and Isami, all of them together. And they're all doing different things, and it looks awesome. And so at the end, obviously, as you know, Soma took the day. As I said, there's no, this is, again, I'm assuming this is not, I'm assuming this is just today's sales. It, you have to understand that it's not the fact that it's not the fact that they won over time. It was one day that they won, and so that has to be kept in mind. The sales won just one day, unless they say otherwise, because they always announce the first place for each day, and Kuga looks upset. Good, get that bastard. And then the page where or the big panel where they're all saying it wasn't much. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Even even Nikumi looks real happy. She's got, look at that, smile. I'm just saying though. Um, so they won the day, and that's awesome. But I don't think they're going to win overall sales because obviously Kugo won every single day except for this day. Um, and whether or not I think at this point Kuga will accept the Shokugeki. Um, or rather, he basically not forced to, but he is kind of he's going to be coerced into doing it because he lost at something that is related to cooking, and that's the sales in just one day. It didn't have to be overall. So yeah, um, you know, but that's looking forward. I think there's still something else. I think there's still some else to do in this festival before Kuga accepts his Shokugeki, or before they get to the Shokugeki. In fact. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be about it. It's a bit long-winded, but there's a lot to talk about, a lot, as well as me ranting, but well, braving, I should say. But anyway, this was a great fucking chapter, and see you guys next week, or not because of the fucking whatever holiday it is next week. But yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, I guess.